Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. This is Tish, just doing what I do, cooking with colors. I'm in my kitchen this afternoon, this evening, and I'm sorry, it's the lighting if it's so foggy. Well, what I'm doing this evening, I am preparing my dinner. It is approximately 4:15, and I wanted to fix my husband something new. I saw it on 1870 1870 Homestead, and also I seen it on Becky with Acre Homestead. But 1870 Homestead really made me think about this, making breakfast for dinner. But it's called sweet potato hash. I never made that. Never knew anything about it. You know, my mama used to make We made fried sweet potatoes, so we made baked sweet potatoes and all that stuff. But we made fried white potatoes and stuff like that, and had hash, regular meat hash. But I never had, Susan, oh, it's pans in here, I gotta take them out. I never had sweet potato hash. So I looked at the recipe, just glancing over it, trying to see what would be best fit for me. I'll put these pans over here. And I realized that I can do this. And I'm making it more vegan friendly. My husband do not eat meat, but he eats seafood, and he eats Impossible burgers and the ground patty of Impossible burger meat. So I have some Impossible. What is this? Beyond Burger meat with the patties. But what I'm gonna do, I'm going to thaw them out, and I'm gonna cook the patties as though ground meat. I didn't have any more packs of the Impossible patty, the ground meat, vegan meat. So I'm going to do that and put that in there for the meat because I don't have any shrimp anymore. I have to go get more shrimp and everything. So I'm trying to use what we have. I did pick some scallions out the garden. I'm going to add a little bit of other things. I'm going to add something green because I always have to have something green. So I'm going to add some kale I picked out the garden. I have some peppers I picked out the garden. I'm going to add that in there too. And I bought some peppers. And I'm also going to cut these sweet potatoes. I got some garlic, fresh garlic, not from my garden. And some onions, not from my garden this year yet. So I'm going to get to it, and I'm going to make it do what it do. As you can see now, I am pressing garlic. Yes, I am pressing the garlic in my garlic presser and taking out the peels that is inside the garlic presser. I am making sure all the garlic is crushed and placed into the frying pan because that garlic will bring forth so much flavor in this sweet potato hash. But I love garlic. I love garlic in all my food. As you can see, I put at least about 6 cloves of garlic into this garlic press to be pressed into the cast iron pan. And so we're going to be cooking that down on low temp and getting ready for all our onions and different items that will be going into our meal. And as you can see, I'm always cleaning up behind myself. I do not like a dirty kitchen. I love to clean as I go. I remember my mom always clean as she go, and she used to tell me in the kitchen, make sure you clean as you go so you won't have so much mess and so much dishes to do at the end. So guess what? That's what I continue to do. Clean as I go. As you can see, I'm still pressing my garlic and putting it into my frying pan and making sure all the skin and the peels from the garlic is out of my garlic presser. And now I'm putting them in the sink and cleaning up my area, getting ready for the next. Now, as you can see, the garlic is in the frying pan with some olive oil. I also have grapeseed oil, but that's going to be used for my vegetarian plant-based meat. So I'm making sure that I have my garlic and my olive oil on low heat, giving it aroma, and it smells so good in that kitchen right about now with that garlic in action in that pan, giving off that great aroma. I do have my oven preheated, and as you can see now, I'm cutting up all my onions. And I know you see it like, oh wow, she can cut them onions that fast. No, that's camera action. I'm speeding through this process, so you don't need to see me cutting onions so slowly. So guess what? Let's speed through that and make sure the onions are cut, put it in the pan, and ready to saute with those garlic pieces that I have in there. So all the onions have to be cut and put into the pan. But I made sure my onions were washed and nice and clean. These are not the onions from my garden. No, they're from the store. But hopefully next year I will have garlic. Garlic and onions. So now that it's sauteing in the pan, I'm going to go ahead and add in some peppers. Yes, some mini sweet peppers. I love veggies and colors in my food. So I made sure I had some peppers that I can cut up and put right into my meal right here for this meal here on a Tuesday night. Oh my goodness. Some fresh peppers, onions, and garlic sauteing in a pan. Now that's going to be some good eating. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up these peppers, and I'm going to add it to my garlic and my onions that are cooking away in my cast iron skillet. I will be adding a little bit more seasoning. As you see, one of them right there, my favorite seasoning is complete seasoning. I love to use that in everything. And also I use some ground garlic as well into that. And also some other seasoning I use is this awesome season blend. As you can see on the far right side of my cutting board, it looked like it's orange. You got different colors in it. Well, I got that from Dubai in a spice shop. So that's mixed between turmeric and saffron. All those different spices is mixed in there, and it's good to season your poultry and different things like that. But I use it in my other food as well. Get a little pinch of it and put it in my food. Don't want your things too spicy, but I want it just right. So now we're in the mix right now. All of my good ingredients, all those onions and peppers and garlic is cooking away on that stove. Ooh, I can smell it. It is smelling so good in this kitchen. Now I'm adding a little black pepper. I think I added a little bit too much because it got a little bit spicy. Yes, and a little bit of complete seasoning I have right there. And I did put some of that in there. And also I put a little bit of saffron. Everything I eat now, I put saffron in. I've been hearing that's a good spice, a good spice to add to your food and your meals for a health benefit. As you can see, the other container I used was that container I got from Dubai. Mixed it at a spice shop, and I put it into my veggies as well. Now I'm gonna cook those onions, peppers, and garlic down some. Let it cook down. My skillet is on medium hot, medium low. So I gotta make sure I keep an eye on that. I probably turn it down a little bit more. And as you can see, I'm cleaning as I go. Always cleaning as I go. Now that is meat right there, the Impossible meat, the plant-based meat with no actual meat is in it. It's made from plants. It's in that purple bowl over there, and I will be cooking that on another cast iron skillet so it can be prepared and put into that skillet with the onions, peppers, and garlic, because I didn't want to put it in right then. So now I'm over here cutting up the sweet potatoes. Yes, I was cutting up some of the sweet potatoes. Now I wanted to make this meal also because my sweet potatoes looked like they were going bad. So I had some of them that I got from my garden and some of them I bought from the store. So I had already peeled some of them and left some skin on, because skin on sweet potatoes is very nutrition for your body. But some of these sweet potatoes was like going bad. So I had to throw those pieces away. But I still had enough sweet potatoes that was very good to be able to put in this meal that I was making. So don't think all those scraps and all those things I didn't use, those part of the sweet potato, is going to waste. No, they're not. I will be using that and putting it into my compost. So I will be putting it over there in that bowl in a bag so it can go out into the compost. Anytime I'm cooking veggies or any type of vegetables or cutting up peppers and onions and all that, I do not throw them away. I put them in a bag to go out into the compost. So now after all my sweet potatoes are cut up, the ones I'm using, and some of them, if you see, I still have skin on them because I wanted some skin still on my sweet potatoes. Now that pretty baby right there, that purple potato that I have to take over to that sink to wash, guess where it came from? My potato vine, my plant that I had in the front of my house. I was cutting the vine out because it was just, the season was up, and I pulled it out of one of the pots, and look, I had a potato. Yes, and you think I was going to let that potato go to waste? No, I cooked it up right along with my sweet potatoes today. So I had a purple potato that grew in one of my flower pots in the front yard. Isn't that something? So I went ahead and cleaned that up and scrubbed it and cut it up and put it right in with the sweet potatoes for my sweet potato hash. And don't think I'm throwing away them scraps. No, it goes into my compost. Everything that I do not use that is a vegetable goes into my compost. Now, as you can see, I'm speeding through this video right here. You know I'm not going to go slow. I am cutting up those sweet potatoes so it can get ready to make this hash. Now, I know my onions, peppers, and garlics is up there cooking away, and it is steaming up. I had to take it off the eye because they was already ready, and I wasn't ready for this step to put my sweet potatoes in there to cook. You know, I think I should have already cut up these sweet potatoes and got them ready before I started, but I didn't. I had plenty of time because my husband wasn't going to be home until some hours from there, and I was starting dinner early. So I was on the ball, and had good timing. So I'll go ahead and cut up these sweet potatoes, and I am going to cut them, put them in a bowl, and then I'm going to wash them up again. Yes, because my hands and everything been on the cutting knife. I want to make sure those sweet potatoes are nice and clean and no kind of germs or dirt and everything is on them. As you can see, that it's going to be nice and clean and ready to go into my onions, peppers, and garlic. They are ready, nice and clean and ready to go. So now that bowl of fresh cut sweet potatoes and one red potato is now placed into my cast iron skillet, along with my peppers, garlic, and onions that I have chopped up and sauteed and got that pan nice and hot and ready for the seasoning of those peppers and stuff to go in with those sweet potatoes. Doesn't that look awesome? Oh my goodness, it smells so good. Oh, you just don't know. That is smelling so good, and I just can't wait to try it. This is my first time making sweet potato hash. Have you ever had sweet potato hash? I haven't. So this is going to be the first for my family that I cook sweet potato hash. That thing looked good, and I love colors in it. I haven't really put seasoning in it, but that seasoning that you just saw me put in it was not seasoned. It was my homemade brown sugar. Yes, and you can simply make it with molasses and regular cane, organic, or white sugar. And you mix it together and you have your own homemade brown sugar. So I wanted a little savory, but I also wanted a little sweetness in it. And you remember I added too much pepper in there. I got a little heavy-handed. So I had to balance it out with a little bit of sweet, a little bit of heat, and make sure it was a balance in there. I also added a little bit of lemon juice in it, just so it can take out some of that heat and salt and all that and balance it all out. So I did do that. But if I didn't put too much pepper in, I wouldn't have to put no lemon juice or any of that brown sugar. But hey, I probably would have put brown sugar in it anyway because I wanted a little sweet, heat, and savory all in this dish. Yes, so I'm warming up my other skillet over on the other side with some grapeseed oil. And grapeseed oil helps from the meats and different things you're cooking with, so it won't pop a lot in the pans. You know, with bringing that water and that oxidized stuff, the water comes up and starts popping out of the pan, and the grease and everything. So grapeseed oil brings that down. I noticed that when I've been using it, and I said I don't have any of that happening in my kitchen when I'm using grapeseed oil. So I like to use that when I'm frying or putting in sauteing meat or anything like that as well. It's good for even sauteing onions. So now I'm adjusting that camera because it seemed like it wanted to fall on me. But guess what? I had to adjust it because at one point it did, and I had to cut that out. So I'm cooking that plant-based impossible meat. It's not real meat. It's made with beans, soy. I think what is it? I forgot what type of beans it was, but it made with beans. It's not real meat, and I cook it up in the pan, and it's that plant base. So it made with plenty of vegetables. So now you see I have combined everything together. Yes, the meat was done, the veggies are done, and my sweet potatoes is kind of nice and tender. Yes, I still have a lot more liquid in there because I noticed it was drying out some because it was cooking. I think my eye was up a little bit too high. So I added some vegetable stock in there, just a little bit to give it a little bit more juice in there. So now I'm placing it in the oven and let it heat up some, cook all together, all the meats and everything else together, my plant-based meat. And now it's out the oven and ready for my egg drop. Now, I don't take an egg and simply drop it into my food. Oh no, you have to make sure the egg do not have no blood running through it. It's not old, and it's not smelling. So I always drop it, crack it open in a bowl, and then I check it out. Then I dipped it into the canals, the little little sections that I opened up into from my sweet potato hash, and I dropped in the whole egg right into those little canal base in there I put in there. So I'm gonna drop 4 eggs into those, and after I drop the eggs in there, guess where it's going? Back into the oven. Right back into that oven so them eggs can cook right up. And I want them eggs to be totally done. So after that, I will be placing, once it's totally done in there, I'll let it sit in there and be in about 15 minutes or so. And then I'll take it out, add some cheese, and also I'll put some scallions on top, which is my green onions cut right on top for a great look upon my food. And here it is, my sweet potato hash with my eggs already cooked. It looks like it's not done, but it is totally done. And now it's done. Now, bon appetit. Enjoy. And thanks again for tuning in with Cooking with Colors, where we are cooking with many colors. Till next time.